Hello there everyone, and welcome back to Empire Total War with the Imperial Destroyer mod. So we've got quite a lot to do today, or in this video. I'm looking at quite a few battles that needed to be done, and one of them was the Siege of Kurland, which I'm going to have to just cut down, mostly because sieges take so long. We have a possible actual field battle that's going to be really difficult, and then I'm also continuing the march with this army after I've taken this, hopefully into Polish territory, as well as we're going for an attack on Moscow, trying to take that as well, forcing the Polish really into signing peace with us. And also we're trying to fight the Russians once again, as they have once more declared war on me. So I'm just showing you a little bit. This is mostly kind of how, you know, I usually conduct the siege battles. They're trying to sort of get out of there. I'm not entirely sure if we're actually getting team killed. The most of the kills there of that line infantry regiment, so I'm thinking I might have to just tell the regiments in the back to hold their fire, so they can focus in, so the ones in front can actually focus in on what's going on there. I'm trying just to cut them down. We'll get in, get this over with, and then this army will continue into Polish territory. We might want to actually watch this regiment right here gets completely thrown apart. And once that's done, the thing is, as the game is progressing now, I saw the Polish had quite a lot of grenadiers of their own as well. We're actually, you know what, I'm gonna switch. I'm gonna do a little switcheroo. And we're gonna get this one to take the place in front there. Anyways, I think this is all I will actually show you of the siege, and then we're gonna have, I mean, there's gonna be quite a few sieges. There's gonna be the siege of Moscow, and then there's gonna be another siege against Poland, probably Vilnius, probably, and then we'll have a possible really big field battle against the Polish, as well, as they've placed placed 2 stacks outside of St. Petersburg, so we'll do that. But with that said, I think we have seen enough of this. I'll go ahead and come back to you guys once I won this siege, so I'll see you guys then. And so on to the statistics of that battle. We managed to lose a fourth of our army with 1,350 men, which is still, I think, pretty good given the fact that it was a siege. 6,000 enemies holding a fort. That's still quite the achievement, and being able to kill almost most of them. So, I mean, at the end, since they lost everyone, we sort of didn't kill everyone, but that's only 1,000 men difference. So during the actual battle, we killed 5,000 of them, most of which, the kills going to the howitzers, but also to the Nerke Värmlands infantry regiment. They managed to kill 600 enemies, and at the same time losing a big part of the regiment. Let's see, what else? What more kills? Line infantry, hussars. General managed to kill 19, not entirely sure. Sometimes I get these sort of strange, like, how did the general manage to kill so-and-so? So I'm not entirely sure, but there we have it. The statistics of this battle. We still have a fightable army, with about 3,000 so-ish men. Question is, if I'm actually going to be able to continue my campaign. We need about 4,000 cash to hold this province. Luckily, it is Protestant. Taking this will add 4 more oppression, So my plan was really to keep going after this. But since I was fearing this, but I mean we took it and there was no option of making this a vassal, which is... Oh, and a new thing has turned up. This thing, emigrating to colonies, have turned up in all of my empire because I now hold Bahamas. So we have people emigrating from all over the place. Which is, I guess, pretty good because if we go over and take a look at my holdings in the New World, the Bahamas, it actually, the island only holds... oh, it actually increased quite a lot because, well, there's a growth rate of 5.6%, which is unprecedented in Europe. But you can see all of it is more or less immigrants coming from the old world. So last time I checked, there was only about 1,500, but it's 1,900 living on the island. And it also now, when I actually have it under control, it gives us an interesting recruitment option, namely Colonial line infantry, even though it's not called that, because I'm guessing... Well, I think this mod was created around this 7 Years' War. So I'm not entirely sure. I guess sort of stuff like Sweden and stuff, there's some... Because it only says line infantry within sort of markers, and it's not as good as normal line infantry, so it would be better to ship line infantry to home. From home. And then we have Buccaneers. They don't have good morale though, but their other stats are pretty good. So I mean, it's a pretty good fighting unit, except for the fact that they've got shit morale. And I'm able to sell some sugar from here, worth 625 as we can see. And also I managed to actually get a trade deal with the Cherokee, so we're actually trading a bit with the Cherokee, and it seems like we are actually the only ones trading with the Cherokee. Could that be right? The Cherokee is only trading with us and France of course is possibly because they have a land route to France. But that's enough for the Colonial Theatre. Back to here. So I was hinting a bit, I was hoping I could continue on towards this regional capital. I've put a spy there. One thing that's interesting with Poland, I mean, we saw them building tons of schools in the Moscow region. I guess it's because everywhere else they build churches. So this province right here has 2 churches at the minimum. Yes, 2 churches. Then we've got a church over there from this province. Actually, 2 churches in this province. The main province has, for a bit of unusual sake, only 1 church, and then there's churches everywhere. Churches. The Polish just build churches everywhere, but I guess that's kind of to be expected by Poland. One thing that I also have seen is, you might wonder why the Prussians have left Königsberg and Gdansk completely just open to conquest. There's no armies there. That's because the Prussians... I had my spy walk past here. Maybe I can get a navy to come close enough to maybe see a little bit. No. But they're all kind of tucked in here, sort of in the Dresden-Saxony area. There's tons of Prussian armies, so all their troops are concentrated around Berlin. So I should be able to push quite far. And I had someone ask me over Steam, what is the goal? And as I remember the goal from video number 1, it is to create the Baltic Sea as an inner sea, which sort of was one of the plans for Swedish expansion. I mean, the grandest sort of plan was, I believe, that Gustav Adolphus kind of had an idea of becoming emperor of all Protestant territories, which would have to include a larger part of controlling Germany, possibly also towards the Netherlands, and also an invasion of England. But I'm not entirely sure we're gonna go that far. We'll see what you respond to this episode once I release that. But at the current, I've released like I'm sort of 7 to 8 episodes ahead of you guys, just because I'm trying to produce a buffer. Like for some reason, I've been able to produce a whole lot of buffer episodes for this. Anyways, so yeah, I should have been able to predict this, that I wouldn't be able to continue from this. But the thing is, possibly I can. I'm gonna hold it for 1 turn, make sure that I'm able to possibly replenish some of the unit. Neki Värmland took a big hit. Possibly some other units that needs... This one's cost 400, so basically 1 single unit I can sort of buff. It will probably best be an infantry unit and one that's lost quite a lot. So this one. What will it... It will cost me 4,000 for a full. So we have that, we can move on because the rebellion army is not actually that strong. So I could possibly put like 4 infantry units in the capital, and then just let them rebel and then strike down the rebellion, because the rebellion armies so far that I've faced have not been that strong. Then we have this possible fight here, which is gonna be one hell of a siege defense. I don't really have an army to march out, but you can see the Polish have actually got grenadiers, and they have one specific grenadier unit of the Lanovy. Not entirely sure how you pronounce that. And then we got pretty nasty lances and stuff, and some more different kinds of units. They've got howitzer, that's going to be nasty in the siege. A lot of it, as we can see, is also line infantry regiments at this point, so there's no militia whatsoever. But I've been able to bypass it. Firstly, I thought, you know what, I'm going to move the army to the north, as Russia declared war on me, to move and attack them over here. But the Russians are just sitting here, so I decided, you know what, I actually moved up here, had a fight, and slayed some armies, but then I decided, you know what, then it's just sitting there, so I'll go back. And rather than go here and have a fight that wouldn't lead to anything, I noticed as my priest was turning back, that when he passed here, that, you know what, they don't actually have that big of an army controlling Moscow, and taking Moscow would be kind of a nice deal, because as we can see, it delivers 14,000, and that's actually more than Stockholm, which Stockholm provides most of my cash, or a big part. It provides 5,000 out of, let's see, out of a total tax income of 16,000, so a third just come from one province. So I would be able to increase the amount of money. The thing is, holding on to Moscow is going to be the hard part, because they've put so many bloody schools here, and there's a religious problem, because Moscow has been, I mean, you can see there's a big split here in between the Orthodox, the Catholics, and, well, not really the Protestants, because they're 0.1%, so there's not really... This guy doesn't really have a chance against... They probably, since it is controlled by Poland, they probably build a church somewhere. And... oh, there it is. And not only that, the church has an agent in it. So, you know what? I should have sent, like, a troop. I can still actually do that. Cavalry is not going to be that necessary. I think light cavalry, probably. So, will it turn to improve Protestant? No, it will not. But at least I burnt the church down. And then try to move back to the army. So, I'm gonna have to end turn. We'll see what the enemy is up to, and then it's time to strike. And possibly, even with the risk of rebellion, to push forwards into enemy territory, capturing Moscow, capturing Lithuania, and dealing a big blow to the Polish-Lithuanians. I'm not entirely sure, you know what? Just one thing more before I go ahead and do this. The Polish-Lithuanians are at war with France, but that's mostly because of me. But I haven't seen that many Polish-Lithuanian armies, so I'm wondering if they have been at war with someone else or something. They seem to have been putting a lot of troops in the province which is called Ukraine, but I mean this region stretches all the way up to Krakow, which is it's a strange thing to call this province right here, call that for Ukraine. But with that said, let's go ahead and in turn strike the enemy. It could be the historical region of Ukraine, I don't know. Let's go ahead and in turn and see what the enemy is up to, and then strike them, give them a heavy blow, and destroy our enemies. And there we have the end turn, so they've gone ahead and raided. So the Polish have once again gone ahead and raided the Livonia province, Estonia-Livonia province. My spies have successfully held their position. Kurland is under strike. We've got some recruitments, a lot of ships. I'm actually trying to recruit another trade navy, but without trade ships this time around, focused around frigates. The thing is, as I kind of googled around and I couldn't really find a good answer to it, but it seems as though it doesn't really matter what kind of ship you send to the trade nodes. Trade ship, of course, will give a higher yield, I think, but normal ships will also, but it doesn't really depend on what kind of ship it is, so you can just have whatever you want. Oh yeah, recruited a new unit because I've built the special building of Stockholm Castle, which, goddammit, have given me the... You can't actually see which... Well, you possibly can. It's the middle unit, which is the Life Guard unit, or the Queen, or the King's Guard, like and actually the Livgardet, as it's called in Swedish, First Foot Guards, is one of the oldest military units in the world. I think it's not the oldest one, but it's one of the oldest, and it was created, I think, if I remember correctly, it's somewhere 1521, I want to say, but roughly around that time. So at this point it had been around for about 200 years already, and it's a regiment that is still going strong, as it were. With that said, let's go ahead and conduct some military campaigns, shall we? I have enough money to go ahead and repair some regions here, fix them up, and try to hold this province down. I mean, it's down to -10, which, if I repair this, is going to go down to -6. And then if I recruit troops here and some troops there, we can merge those to hold this down. And this army will be free to move on to Lithuania, lay siege to that. And you know what? That's an auto-resolve, which is going to save me time, because there's going to be... Because I was thinking about... There's going to be quite a lot of different battles in this episode. So you know what? We're going to auto-resolve this one. And I only lose 426 men, and Livonia falls to me. This one's gonna need quite a bit of re-management, because we're gonna have to switch the religious affiliation of the province, which means I'm gonna have to burn the churches. So we got one church there, we got one church there. We're gonna have to try to drive this priest out of the province. It's good that they've got a pleasure garden fully upgraded. That's gonna help me a lot in controlling the province. And oh, I guess because, you know what, I think we're gonna keep quite a lot of the schools back in back in Moscow, just because... yeah, I need to repair this. What I could do is I could possibly ship some troops over from Stockholm or maybe Finland to keep this province under control. Oh yes, I didn't calculate with the army going away. Right. Oh well, at least enough to hold it. There's still gonna be a rebellion. That doesn't matter that much. Thinking about, since I've recruited quite a bit more extra troops here, we could see about actually going on and taking this army out, so we get one field battle in this video. So it's not all just a bunch of sieges, and then we're gonna strike a heavier blow, I think, to the Polish-Lithuanians by having this siege. Now I think I'm gonna do this siege similar to one I did with the siege of Kurland, and I'm just gonna go ahead and do like the basic of it, like I'm winning. You can see that it by the strength ratio that I cannot just out-resolve it. I'm gonna have to fight it, but we know that I'm going to win, given the fact that it's mostly garrison militia, which is shit, and the fact that I've got my new howitzers, which do an amazing amount of damage. And yes, I wonder if I can put the priest in the army, but I don't actually know if it does anything, like if it improves the morale. Maybe it does. It should, shouldn't it? Like it would improve the morale of the troops and stuff if you have your priest with you. I mean, it would in the other Total War, or the newer Total War games, but I'm not entirely sure it would do it in this. So let's go ahead and take this. This province is probably going to be the hardest one to hold, because it's religiously, it doesn't like me, so it's going to get 10 minus. Then we're going to another 7 minus for all the schools, and then we're going to get, what is it, 30 minus, because it's like a capital province. So there's going to be a lot of dislike. But with that said, let's go ahead and conduct this siege against Venoslav Siborek, something like that. Let's fight anyways. And here's the siege of Moscow. We've had about 15 minutes of bombardment of this settlement, and as we can see, it's been quite an effective bombardment, but I don't have as many units as I have, or as many soldiers as I had in my previous army, so it still has to be a little bit careful with how I conduct this siege. Plus there's some line infantry. Really want to take care of those guys right there. I've already bombarded the center quite a bit. This side, I think we should be able to just cut down. It's all militia regiments of sorts, and by the push of bayonet we should be able to cut those guys to pieces. These, however, need a little bit more of an aid by throwing in some howitzer shots into this mess. And with that, I think we've focused in enough on this area. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tell the cannons to pick the targets as well, which means the howitzers will start firing in here, and we should be able to cut the rest of these guys down just by the push of bayonet. That should be enough. The 2 units that are actually fighting, I'm going to tell them to toggle off guard mode, which means that they should, upon coming in contact with an enemy, just follow the enemy and kill them. Same with these 3 units, and this one should hopefully be able to move in full and capture this gate. There goes the enemy general. I wonder if we can get this gate. It would be nice to get this gate. No, it doesn't look like it, so we're gonna move this regiment then to capture this gate. And with the capturing of this gate, we're gonna send the cavalry over to ready themselves to charge in through and capture the center point. We might save some lives that way, but this army, I have no intention of moving it any further after this, since Moscow is kind of a large region. It's going to be tough as it is to hold it down. So we're just gonna. Oh, I actually captured this gate, so the cavalry doesn't actually need to pass. But what we can do is we can send the cavalry in through 2 gates once this is captured as well. Which I'm kind of surprised that it hasn't been captured yet. So we can have 1 hussar and 1 normal line infantry unit. I think they're still firing for the cannon, which, I mean, it is manned and it is firing and so forth. Probably better if the howitzers before they... we can't capture this gate apparently. I'll get the hussars in first so they can get a fire off into this mess, and then the cavalry regiment will... there goes the gate. So now these guys can go in. Same here, the hussars will go first, and then the standard cavalry regiment will come second. So the hussars are able to get some shots off first. And... oh, you know what? The enemy, seeing that they were lost, has given up, and they've taken flight from the castle. Victory is ours. Moscow has fallen to Swedish arms. Heroic victory. Very nicely done. And here are the results of that battle. Poland-Lithuania gains 12 points. Sort of, it sounded a bit like Eurovision there to start off with. Anyways, here's the statistics. Here are the people's votes. And we can see that we lost about 800 men while killing all enemies. Most of them being killed during the battle. The howitzers, once again, doing a lot of the damage. The cannons... wait, is that all they did? I thought they were able to kill... well, maybe my plan to have them firing from the side isn't that good. But they actually were... I put them too far forward in this battle. So in the first part they didn't even were able to fire through there. So I guess that's why they weren't able to get as many kills as the howitzers. But yes, here's the statistics. And Moscow then falls to me. See how unhappy they are? Quite spectacularly unhappy. We are able though to start changing the will of the people. We're gonna have to burn this church, build something else there. Let's see how many schools they actually have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 schools. So we can start... I mean, we can just start doing some of these. I mean, that it will take forever, but it will actually help out a little bit to get us started on some of the... oh shit, it's 44. Jesus Christ. How about one of those then? Or maybe go on to 27 is not that bad. I mean, so many bloody schools. I can understand why Poland and Lithuania has been able to get so many research done, or get so much research done, as they've been able even to get all the way almost to the estates here in terms of land ownage. By repairing this and by repairing this, I should be able to hold this one pretty well. This one we're already holding, so I don't need to really build anything. Possibly more than... I mean, it's probably good to repair this, but it's costly. And then possibly send some troops back to hold that area. Or just go ahead and replenish. And then send the troops from the outlying places to attach themselves here. So I was hoping to draw into a battle here. Wasn't it 2 full stacks? I don't want to go into an ambush. Because there might be another force in the forest. So what I want to do is just check that out first. Ah, there they are. So I knew they were hiding there. So we were intercepted, but it was a single unit that was intercepted. The rest of them will come as reinforcements. However, because of that, my artillery or the mortars will not come in. And this will be an infantry heavy battle for me, which might actually help my micromanagement. Without further ado, let's go ahead and do this. The Polish ambush, I mean the ambush, they would be right in the middle of the open here. But I guess they, I don't know, they built themselves an igloo and hide in that. And then poof, just come out of the snow, thousands of Polish troops. Holy shit, what's going on? Right. Anyways, let's go straight into this battle, shall we? And since this is an ambush battle, it starts off immediately with my unit being surrounded. And I'm gonna try my best to somehow evade all of that infantry, cannons and stuff, taking quite a bit of damage there, but it looks as though, I wouldn't say I'm in the clear because we've got cavalry and stuff chasing us. The good thing here is I guess the Polish army will be kind of all over the place. Let's head for the forest, and I can try to form square there. That will protect me a little bit in case the cavalry decides to actually charge me, which they very well just might. Yes, they will. Form square. And that did not go well. And the unit's about to... It's shaken, it's... Oh, now it's steady, actually. Shaken... It moved in between shaken and steady. Right, we're not going to spend much time there because that unit is... Well, the commander just died, so that unit's lost. What we're going to do is, as the enemy is... I mean, it's strung out all over the place. So... if I can hit it really hard and really fast, we could possibly be able to get quite nice victory here. I'm gonna take up position in the forest here, which will be nice. Cover a lot of the enemy's fire. Now it's 2 grenadier units that are out here of Polish grenadiers. So it's gonna be dangerous fighting them. But I'm sending 1 unit out to flank. And then, you know what, we're going to send 2 units into the forest. And then the 4th unit is going to flank on this side. And then we're going to do what I've done in previous battle. Very Karolian tactics. We're going to march close to the grenadiers in their flanks. And this one's actually... Ooh, this one's actually very nice given the terrain here. So I don't know if you can see, but there's a... I mean, I can hide on this side of the hill, and I can get real close, and not only will I get a flank fire, I will get to fire at them from a superior position, or a position of height compared to them. Same on this side, actually, by going into this forest over there. But as we can see, the Polish army has now... dealt with the single infantry unit that they ambushed, and they are now pushing forwards in numbers. Right now my soldiers are actually beating the grenadiers in a 1-to-1 fight. Or 2-to-2 fight, I should say. They're beating them, but they're gonna beat them very narrowly, so we want to go ahead and thoroughly break them as we have the local superiority. We've got bloody lancers coming in. I've got this unit though. Come on, tell me you're gonna be able to fire. No. And we lose quite a few men in that. This unit will... Oh, that would have been such a nice bloody flank, but no. Poland and his stupid lancers. Right. This unit's taking fire. It will have to turn to face the enemy and open fire. This unit's not doing well, but the general is close, and that should help quite a lot. This unit will be able to open flank fire, and we've got some other units coming in. Hopefully we'll kill these Polish bastards. This grenadier unit is falling apart. I'm gonna redraw my general, and then we're gonna see about getting these guys to draw the cavalry in front of this fire. We've got more grenadiers coming in, and we had a enemy cavalry unit, bloody Cossacks, pass right through. Probably gonna flank this unit, so we're gonna form that into square. We're gonna pull this unit back as it's been cut in pieces quite a bit, and then these units will be strung out along here. So it's following. Hurry up and try to get these Cossacks. And then this unit will have to come over here, since we got lots of enemies coming in over here. Form square. Come on, fire over there. I have a possibility here of getting further out into the flank on these Polish grenadiers. And if I can just get this unit to fire, that would be nice as well. But I guess it's all because these stupid lancers are the Polish whatever Cossack unit is falling back. This unit's under heavy fire, but we need it to hold there just so as it relieves the other parts of my army. Okay, if you could please just go ahead and fire, that would be nice. That Polish unit was sent off. You dropped the square, get up, fill the line. I want you to go even further on the flank, trying to flank the Polish units. Generals back here. We've got more infantry. We're gonna send 2 units to the north, trying to deal some damage over there. You will head over here, support on this side. I think it's gonna take a lot to deal with these grenadiers. We're losing a lot of men on this side. So it's gonna be heavy fighting on this side. And there's heavy fighting on all sides, really. Oh, this is my grenadier unit. Nice. So my grenadiers have arrived, and for some reason the Polish are reorganizing their troops. We're gonna go ahead and do like this. Right, the Polish are pushing forwards for some reason. I sent more. We've got grenadiers. I'm gonna set them in reserves back here, possibly throw them in. And we've got 2 grenadier units coming in here. It's gonna draw into line here. Prepared to fight the Polish. The Polish are concentrating their troops here, which is probably costing them quite a bit of manpower, plus they're not really pushing fire into us. This was that special regiment or region specific grenadier unit, which for some reason is drawing up a perfect flank fire for us to be able to fire upon them. Formed square over there. look at that. The Polish were trying to bypass us over here. I want to this one then to pull away from the front ranks and let the Grenadiers take that. This unit has fallen. We've got enemy Grenadiers. I am a bit hesitant to throw these Grenadiers in, but I'm thinking maybe, just as we can see a lot of Polish units breaking in the center, if I throw them in here towards the side, fire close up, and then boom, throw in bayonets, we could be able to throw the Polish away from that area. They're actually closing in on us. It's a very thick formation here. And they're reorganized to face us. Let's see if we have time to strike them before they strike us. I think a good volley will break them. Damn, nice. We've got them. Oh, this unit, I was afraid that might run. Gonna pull back just so we get this one actually to come out of the forest. And then these two will move on the flank. And as the center has now fallen apart of the enemy, we can force our troops forward. And then these two will turn to face the enemy over there. And we do have this extra line infantry unit, which we can put back here. And the general will go and supervise this area. We've got some units that are back in action. I mean, a prolonged fight here is not really nice. The Lancers are back. I'm gonna switch you to firing into a flank. You will hold fire and prepare for a Karolian charge into the side. Actually, you will also, or maybe you will actually do it. You will come up over the hill there and then fire into them. And this unit, need to get rid of that bloody cannon. Right, we're gonna charge it. These guys are gonna hold fire, then they're gonna turn up in the flank of these units and break them. Right, we got bloody stupid Lancers riding straight into fire over here, and then you will now move up into the flank. Grenadiers are holding on, they're breaking these guys. Cannon is gone. Pull forwards, check that cannon, and then forwards. Soldiers, you will turn a bit. You will continue forwards here. We'll stop prematurely because they've turned. But that would actually, you know what? The Grenadier after all. Grenadiers, forward. By the push of bayonet, gentlemen. Makten och härligheten är med oss. Anfall. Everyone forwards. Victory waits for no man. Right, this unit was supposed to be a flank unit, but now it's the main unit in this assault. And before it breaks, we'll have to throw forwards these other regiments to shoot down the enemy. Yeah, it's already kind of breaking. We've got massive melee going on here, where the general is needed to overview that melee. We still have quite a few enemy regiments moving around here. We need to break this one, so I can redraw the line across here in the forest. With the general dead, you can see that the enemy is wavering. I need to get into the forest. And then we need to win this fight over here. Let's see about the general. We can go around and then he can charge the enemy in the back. And I haven't forgot any units. No. Well, this one kind of forgot it. You can move into the flank. This is gonna be nasty. Yeah, they're already kind of breaking. And they are broken. And that's gonna, yeah, ripple effect right through the army. Hold back here. Right. Well, this fell apart. So we're gonna pull back towards here, where we actually have quite a bit of troops. Gonna redraw some lines, and suddenly it become eerily quiet on the battlefield. Let's see about if I can move the general over here, possibly rally these guys. And then we'll prepare to face the enemy once more. We've got kind of a hill here, so I want my troops to be up on that, to be able to fire down upon the enemy. As my first movement put them behind the hill, and that would have covered the enemy. And then these three smaller ones can draw out next to the grenadiers. And the general was able to rally these two units, which will sit there. And we've got this one loaded and ready, hiding in the forest, ready then to come in from behind. Right now the enemy seems to actually... Where are these grenadiers going? You're going away from the fight, are you not? Leaving a single regiment of grenadiers to hold out against the entire remainder of my army, which is, to say the least, a very poor tactic by the Polish. And I'm not entirely sure what the Polish are doing. They seem to be just... they're regrouping. Looks like they're going to draw the line right there. Got some enemy cannons. I don't want this one to come back. It possibly can, because it's a special grenadier unit with most likely quite high morale. So if they come too close here, you know what? We'll push these guys forward. Maybe we can get some cheap shots into the side of this one before they're able to organize themselves. And then these guys into as long and thin line as possible. The big grenadier unit will actually be in the open in between. And then all these smaller units will advance and try to break this one. Try to break them. There we go. I was just about to say try to break them. It looks like they're breaking already. And they have. The only unit actually standing is this bloody artillery unit. But that is broken now as well, as they decided, you know what, 9 people are not going to be able to stand against 211. And they all succumb to the bayonet charge. And there we have it. Victory over my enemy. I'm gonna chase them a little bit with the general just to make sure that they're gone. But with that said, let's go back to check the results of all this campaigning and then end the video. And here we have the statistics of the battle. So as you can see, with only 140 men, I was able to destroy a Polish army of 4,280. No, that wasn't really the case, but we can see that we deployed, I mean, more or less the same. There's only a difference of 40 men. However, I came up on top, having lost, I still about almost 2/3 of my army. While the enemy losing similar numbers as well. There's only a difference about 600 men casualty. However, I have 1400 men still alive due to that, while the enemy only has 900. Highest kills goes to a line infantry unit, nondescript one. Then line. Grenadiers didn't actually do that well. I think the Grenadier charge as well probably wasn't that good. I'd probably done better just to stand there and have a shootout against the enemy. European bodyguard, he was able to actually score almost 100 kills. My mortars didn't take part in the battle, and so they did nothing. We had one line infantry unit, which only managed to get 12 kills. I imagine this was the one that was attacked in the beginning, the one that I was gonna do that really nice side charge on the enemy grenadiers, and then it was attacked in the back by Polish lancers. So I managed stat unit. It only killed 12 enemies and lost most of its unit. It could have been that, but actually I think it actually lost even more. So remaining troops, it might have been one of the other ones that actually managed to just kill quite a lot of people. The Polish army still persists. Thing is, I can't really move out here because the province is still really unhappy. But I can merge some of the units without having to replenish them, as it would cost me 8,000 to replenish them. But here we can see what I'm currently holding. So I was able to expand quite a bit in this episode. I was able to take Kurland, Lithuania, Vilnius, and Moscow. Now the thing is, the heavy work is going to be in the aftermath of this, which I'm gonna have to do sort of off camera, because it's gonna be so much just to keep these provinces under control. And with these two captures, we have pushed the front lines completely to a different area, from over here to have pushed it towards over here, all the way almost. I mean, this is not that far away from Warsaw, although there's probably not going to be any fighting here, but the front line has been pushed a lot. And since we actually gained more front line against the Russians now, so we'll see about if there's Russian armies creeping up from these directions. Also, and I've been trading with the Hetman, whatever these are. I guess they're Tatars or something. Elected, yeah, it's Cossack units. They're all Cossacks. Cossacks and Ukrainians or something. I don't know. Anyways, we're gonna have to make sure these guys do not declare war on us. So now I don't have any money to sweeten a deal with them. They are at war with the Ottoman Empire. Am I still allied with the Ottoman Empire? I might want to break that just so that I can... Oh, they're at war with the Hetman. Yes. And the thing is, I don't really like the fact that the Ottomans are increasing their influence. Now, I don't like the Habsburgs, but having the Habsburg collapse like this is not very good. Oh, there's a new regent, or there's a new queen. There's a new monarch in France. It's Queen Elizabeth I, 21 years old. But everyone else seems to be the same. It's still William III in England. It's still Charles in Sweden. It's still Friedrich I. And it's still Leopold I. And so forth. And the Spanish still dragged around by this absolute freak. He's got a pet hermit. Jesus Christ. He's 66 years old. Imagine him still being... He's ruled it for 27 years at this point. Anyways, not going on too long. Hopefully you guys enjoy this episode, and hopefully I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye.